Ms. Chandralekha, Professor Arvind Chaturvedi, Dr. Sunil Mago, and friends from the patriotic social media. First of all, I congratulate the team consisting of Jagdish Shetty and his colleagues for a magnificent organization of this event. So far, this is the largest event so far of the patriotic social media, and we will continue this because the goal, as I said, is to bring together people who have a commitment to this country. You can be educated, but you may not have a commitment in the sense of doing something for this country. You know that Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister for 10 years, and he is perhaps one of the most educated persons we could have had. He is a PhD, professor, and a very nice, decent gentleman. But politics is not for that kind of gentleman. He could not take a stand against the corrupt elements of his party, led by Ms. Sonia Gandhi. And he, while knowing that the decisions being made are wrong, he had to keep quiet. The classic case is of A. Raja, to whom he wrote a letter as Prime Minister, saying that the spectrum must be auctioned. The same thing in coal also. He told the coal secretary that the coal blocks must be auctioned. But later on, a instruction came from above, from Sonia Gandhi, straight to Mr. Raja, don't listen to this Sardarji. And you go ahead. What is the scandal there? Spectrum, which is really airspace in the sky for the airwaves to go. Spectrum was sold in 2008 at the price which was prevailing in 2001. The price of spectrum in 2008 was 10 times the price prevailing in 2001. There were only 4 crores of mobile sets in 2001. In 2008, there were 70 crores of mobile sets in India. And the demand for spectrum had gone up. And spectrum was given by the minister in conjunction with Mr. Chidambaram to companies who did not use it themselves. For example, Swan Telecom, headed by Shahid Balwaz, who is the right-hand man of Dawood Ibrahim, he got the license. He was not even a telecom company. He was a real estate company. He didn't even have a single tower. Yet he got the license. He then went and sold it to a Abu Dhabi company called Etisalat for 8 times the price that he paid the government of India. If the government of India had auctioned it, then Etisalat would have bought it for 10 times the price. Similarly, Tata sold to Docomo at 13 times the price that they paid the government of India. Every one of those 9 companies got it cheap from the government, sold it to foreign companies at a multiple times of the price they paid. Unitech sold it to Telenor. Had the government of India therefore auctioned it, they would have got 10 times the revenue which they got by selling it at the price of 2001. And it is very easy to calculate that how much loss took place by selling it 2001 price, and had we sold it at 2008 market price, the difference is roughly about 2 lakh crore rupees, which is about the same estimate as the CAG of 1,76,000 crores. Of course, Kapil Sibal said it is only zero loss. I don't blame Kapil Sibal because he doesn't know how to count beyond zero. But they did all this propaganda. But the budget, last budget presented by Chidambaram, he accounted for 68,000 crores from spectrum auction. Where did this zero number become 68,000 crores? Tomorrow we auction 3G, 4G, we will get 10,000, you will not get 1,76,000 crores, but 10,76,000 crores. If you auction now the coal blocks, you will get 14 lakh crores of revenue. And what is the income tax bill? How much do we collect from income tax? Only 2 lakh crore rupees. So there is plenty of money in this country if you don't give away our natural resources. For bribery, we have been doing that. That has to stop. So, for that we need courageous people to take a stand. Had Mr. Ashirvadam not come to my house, I would have never understood the scam that was taking place, because the newspapers were publishing hardly anything. It is Mr. Raja's fraud that Ashirvadam told me about, that I took it to the court and got the license cancelled, and now the auction. And he was in the bureaucracy, so it's no use blaming the bureaucracy with a paintbrush. There are people in it. Ms. Chandralekha is sitting here. She didn't want Jayalalitha to sell a company, a fertilizer company, to Mr. Chidambaram's cousin called A.C. Muthaiya at much below market price. She put it on the file. And then what happened? Ms. Jayalalitha and her special friend, Sasikala, said if IAS officers start objecting like this, then we will not be able to make any money. So we have to frighten all IAS officers. And therefore they had acid thrown on our face. Of course, we have to thank Dr. Narendra Pandya, the doctor, plastic surgeon in Bombay, who is the world's #3, who for free operated on her a number of times. So today it is very difficult. So I am seeing in India good people everywhere, but they are not organized. Crooks are organized. That is the difficulty. And we have to get organized, and in a democracy, political power through elections is the most important thing when you can become out to change. Today, BJP has received an absolute majority which it never received in its history. How did it happen? Well, first of all, we had the personality of Mr. Narendra Modi. But for him, people wouldn't have been excited. Everywhere, Modi, 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 it was like that. To the Congress was discredited because of our corruption campaign, in which all of us who brought it to light shared the credit. And finally, for the first time, a large number of Hindus and some Muslims joined together, breaking caste lines, religious lines, and voting for us. All these liberals say on television, oh, the BJP has communalized, polarized. What was the secular people doing all this time? They were uniting the minority vote and dividing the Hindu vote. And we did the opposite. We united the Hindu vote and divided the minority vote. We welcome to our ranks all members of the minority, particularly Muslims and Christians. If you accept this land as your ancestral land, if you accept that in fact you didn't come from somewhere, from foreign countries, but that you are in this country, your religion may have changed, but your identity did not change, then you are welcome. You are part of the family. We are all Hindustanis then, Hindus and those minorities who accept that this land is theirs. The mullahs don't like it. They want Muslims to become an international community. I asked some Muslim intellectuals, why are you opposing Israel? They asked me, why are you supporting Israel? I support Israel for national interest reasons. The national interest is that Israel helps us in terrorist intelligence, it gives us weapons, and it helps us whenever we want their help. We have no conflict with them. They say, no, no, you are supporting Israel because they are anti-Muslim. Well, in Tamil Nadu, I opposed the LTTE even though they claim to be Hindus, and I exposed them thoroughly. When I was a minister, I dismissed the DMK government and finished off the LTTE. I did not look at that. I'm supporting today Sri Lanka only because it is in our national interest. If the relations had not improved between India and Sri Lanka after Modi took over, this Selvarajan whom we have caught, who was plotting the 2611 type of action in Chennai, we could never have caught because the Sri Lankans would not have cooperated. Today they have cooperated, and we are going to catch each one of them and tell them, give them their appropriate place. So we as Indians will always look at national interests first, not sectional interests. And I think time has come when all the Indian population begins to recognize we are one people. The British divided us into Aryans and Dravidians, said Aryans came from Europe, Dravidians were here before, then they came and attacked them and drove them to the south. All that is untrue. Because the test we have done is on DNA. Now the modern way to decide whether we are one community or many communities is by testing by DNA, which you can do by blood, you can scrape a piece of your skin, or you can take a piece of your hair. DNA can be discovered. It doesn't matter if we look different. They say that people in South India are more dark-skinned than people in North India. Of course, because the sun directly hits them near the equator, and the pigmentation changes, and so the color changes. North India, the sun comes at an angle, because it's in a higher latitude. So color will be different. They say, well, the people in Northeast have Mongoloid features. So what? Features are dependent on the climate, the location. The real test of your community is the DNA. And the DNA says that even the people of Northeast have the same DNA as the people of Gujarat, as the people of Tamil Nadu. All of us have the same DNA. So I say to Firmi Bodo, don't say, look at Northeast, please look at our Northeast problem. You are as much Indian as I am. You demand your rights. Don't ask us for requests. And we'll stand by you. I can tell you to Firmi Bodo, fight without fear in Assam or wherever you are, because we are standing behind you. This whole army is behind you. No one dare do anything to you. Therefore, this conference was called to forge a new Indian, whom I call as the Virat Hindustani. Hindus plus those of the minority community who want to associate with Hindus, who claim that we belong to the same family. When partition was created, Jinnah said, and the British accepted, and so did the Congress party, that Muslims are different people. We are two nations. The British House of Parliament passed a resolution, passed an act called the Indian Independence Act to divide India into India and Pakistan, and say all those Muslims who wanted to be different from, who thought they are different from Hindus, do not want to live with Hindus, they will be given a separate country. So those Muslims who decide to stay in India are those who wanted to bond with Hindus, find a common connection with Hindus, and not those who went to Pakistan. When I object to infiltration from Bangladesh, many Bangladesh diplomats say, why are you taking this hard line? I say partition was created on the principle that those Muslims who don't want to live with Hindus, we should give them some land. So this whole East Bengal was carved out for you. Now, having got that land, you are all coming back to live with Hindus in Assam and other places. So you can't have both. You can have the land and at the same time send all your people back. So either you give us 1/3 of the land you took from us for his compensation, or take your people back. It is you who wanted partition. So the same thing I am saying to Muslims here today. You are not an international community. Today we are facing a threat from ISIS. What are they saying? They are saying that Muslims are all citizens of Caliphate. They may live anywhere, but they are citizens of the Caliphate. And they must abide by that. Well, then we'll have to confront them. And we want the Muslims of India who think that we are Hindustanis first and then only Muslims, like I think I'm a Hindustani first, then only Hindu. We are Indians first and then afterwards Tamils or Bengalis. Those who have that sentiment now will have to join together. I have not found a single Muslim organization condemning the destruction of temples in Kashmir, in Pakistan and Bangladesh. Why? We voted for, the government of India this time voted for the Hamas against Israel in the United Nations. Of course, I didn't agree with it. But our government did vote. No appreciation from any Islamic organizations. There were, of course, many individuals who appreciated it. So I am saying to you today that we want to build a new Indian who thinks of himself first as an Indian. I must tell you, DNA of a Brahmin and a scheduled caste is the same. DNA of a Hindu and a Muslim is the same. DNA of anybody living in this country is the same. And I've proved it in many occasions. When Raj Thackeray was saying these Bihari and UP walas are coming and taking our Marathi jobs, I told a friend of mine that, can you get me a sample of Raj Thackeray's hair? He said, yes, I go to the same hairdresser that he goes, and I'll get you. So he brought me a bottle of his hair from the hairdresser. I had it tested. Of course, I also paid 100 rupees to a UP taxi driver and said, please, can I cut a little piece of your hair? He thought I was crazy, but for 100 rupees, he was allowing me to do it. Sent both these hairs to Hyderabad to the microbiological laboratory. And back came the report, and the report says that the DNA of Raj Thackeray and the UP taxiwala is exactly the same. So I announced publicly, Raj Thackeray should either admit we are all one, or he should say that his ancestors came from UP and migrated to Bombay. Therefore, this consciousness must come. We need Hindu consolidation. Because Hindu, by that I mean in a cultural sense. Therefore, the Sikhs are with us. Buddhists are with us. Jains are with us. There's no dispute. In fact, if it weren't for Guru Tegh Bahadur, we wouldn't be wearing the Janeu, the Brahmins. If it weren't for Guru Gobind Singh, there would be no Hindu today. So we will never forget the sacrifice of the Sikhs in this. So when I say Hindu, I include all these people who don't object. Even the Parsis, you see, they came from Iran as refugees, but they have adopted our ways. There is no conflict at all. The Parsi will be Chief Justice. Nobody will say, oh, Parsi ban gaya Chief Justice. Air Force Chief was a Chief Justice, was a Parsi. Sam Manekshaw was a Parsi. Attorney General Soli Sarabji was a Parsi. There are Parsis all over. There are only 60,000, but they have got, they may be not even 1% of the population, but they must have got 20% of the top positions. Nobody objects. Why? Because they have totally identified themselves. Of course, I tease the Parsis by saying you're originally Indians, because in Ramayana, Kaikeyi was from Iran. And Parsi women are all Ladakus like Kaikeyi. I know it. No offense meant. So, therefore, I'm saying to you today, it's only the Muslim and Christian, as far as the Christian is concerned, he's ready to accept that his ancestors are Hindus. In the Muslim, privately they accept. But the mullah doesn't like it. Because then the closeness will come. And the closeness will come, then this international community concept will go. When we were united, no one could defeat us. Caliphate was first formed in the 700 AD period. 738, the most terrible caliphate conqueror came on the scene called Umar. He conquered most of Europe. And then he announced, I'm going to India, I'm going to conquer India. He came here, and in the borders of Rajasthan, the part of Sindh, two of the most important Hindu dynasties of that period, the Prajapatis of Gujarat and the Chalukyas of Maharashtra and Andhra, they combined and gave him such a defeat that was the end of the caliphate, and it could not be revived for another 700 years. And I say this to the new caliphate, you want to come? There's already Hindu consolidation going on, and the day Hindustan becomes a united people, we'll give you such a thrashing that for another 1,000 years you will not be able to show your face. So why is it that I want Hindu consolidation? Why do I want a new Hindu or a new Hindustani? It is because we are under threat. And the threat is serious. So somewhere or the other we should be ready. This new Hindustani, I say, should be a Virat Hindustani. A Virat Hindustani means a man who would, or woman who would retaliate. Now when it comes to man and woman, as far as the Hindus are concerned, we have always regarded women in a special position. Their positions may have deteriorated in the last 1,000 years. But in our tradition, we have always placed women at a very high pedestal. In Brahma's cabinet, the three most important portfolios of defense, finance and education is in the hands of Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Then I said, then I tried to find out what male gods got. None of them got anything except one, and that was information broadcasting for Narad Muni. That was the tradition. Two of our major wars were fought because a woman was dishonored. Mahabharata, because Draupadi was dishonored. Ramayana, because Sita was kidnapped. For the sake of one woman's molestation, the whole country went to war. Today, when women are suffering from all these attacks and rapes and so on, this is not our tradition. It is a debasement of our tradition, which may be due to a number of other factors. But we have to fight and see that women and men are treated equally. I, of course, have a lot of problems with women. Sonia Gandhi, Jayalalitha, they have given me a lot of trouble. But I treat them equally. I'm not saying that she's a woman and therefore she should not attack me. And I also say to the women, be bold, learn law, learn karate, learn self-defense. And I'll say to the young boys today that when it comes to a woman's honor, you must stand up and not watch it happen. I say particularly to the Hindu boys, take a pledge and tell your parents you will not ask for or accept dowry under any circumstance. Because according to the Kerala High Court, which coined the word love jihad, they said one of the reasons for the love jihad is the girl's feeling of hopelessness that she cannot get married because she cannot afford the dowry. And suddenly this fellow comes and fools her and she falls prey to it. So I think therefore in order to fight these things, we have to bring about social change. Now, I would like to say, after hearing Professor White, which tells you how much capital you have to put in to generate 1 rupee of output, and on that basis we can calculate to show that if we have an efficient economy with a 40% rate of savings or investment in the country, we can generate 10% growth rate, and if we generate 10% growth rate for 10 years, India will become a developed country, and in 15 years it will overtake China, and then in another 30 years it will overtake the United States of America. That is our goal, to make India a developed country. There is so much potential in India. Look at agriculture. They say it's poverty-ridden, this problem, drag on our society. But today, our agricultural products are the cheapest in the world. But the farmer doesn't know how to export. Because there's no cold storage, there's no feeder airports, there's no packaging. He doesn't know who to contact. All these things together, he either faces ruin or rotting of his agricultural produce, or sell it at distressed price. If we export our agricultural products, we will make the farmer earn. The yield per acre in India is one of the lowest. It is 1/4 of the yield per acre in South Africa. In rice, it is 1/7 the yield of Japan. In the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, experimental plots are put here. America cannot do it for more than 7 months because 5 months the snow falls. So therefore, we can grow 3 crops a year, but we grow only in 25% of the land more than 1 crop. If we grow 3 crops in the land, we will have a huge amount of tripling of our production, plenty of food, and plenty of employment generated. We have how many? 150 million cows in our country. They are being slaughtered, and shockingly, the government is giving us subsidy for exports. I have written a letter yesterday to the Prime Minister, reminding him of his speech he made in Gujarat, that the biggest scandal is for cotton exports, there is no subsidy, but for beef exports, there is subsidy. And I tell him, I'm reminding you, please stop it. And the amount of money you will save by giving milk, that much milk there will be. India's potential is unlimited. We have the youngest population in the world. 70% of population is below the age of 35. And the average age is 26. The average age of China is 36. America is 37. Europe is 46. Japan is 50. These are aging populations. We have a young population. Put them through good schools. Give loans to people even sending children to LKG and KG, even before class 1. Today we are not giving, we only give it if you go to college. We don't give. Produce the best schools in every district. Enable everybody to go through schools. If they don't have money, they should get a loan. And how the loan will be paid back, that if any certificate to be given for employment must have a line saying that so much loan was taken from such and such bank and it is pending repayment, and the employer will have to cut a portion every month from the salary to return that loan. Then everybody will get educated. Today dropouts is because people cannot do it. We are working on it. People unnecessarily make fun of Smriti Irani, but she is a very decisive minister, and if there is anybody who can do this kind of changes, she can do. Therefore, you should have faith in her. Now, therefore, now what do we do? In my opinion, time has come for us to get organized. I am, of course, BJP, and I'm not asking any of you PTs to become BJP. I'm only asking you to be ideologically of the view that I have mentioned to you. That we regard ourselves as Indians and first and everything else afterwards. We forget our caste barriers and start thinking in terms of on political level as Indians and what's good for India, and break these barriers and come as one. With 38% of the votes, 31 of BJP and 7% of the addition of the other allies of the NDA, the BJP was able to get absolute majority. If this 31% or 38% goes, if this 38% goes to 44%, we will get 2/3 majority. BJP alone will get 2/3 majority. I don't want all the Hindus to unite. Some of these Barka Dats and what Sagarika Ghosh, they can stay away. And and then you see, you must know the correct history of India. We are the only country who were ruled for 800 years by brutal Islamic rule of the Mughals. Anywhere else in a short period, like for example Iran, Islam ruled conquered Iran and ruled it for just 15 years. Within 15 years, they converted the entire Iranian population to Islam. They went to Mesopotamia and Babylon, which is now called the modern Iraq. In 17 years, they converted the population to 100% Islam. Egypt in 21 years. The Christians converted Europe to 100% Christian in 50 years. But in India, 800 years of Muslim rule, 200 years of Christian rule, and we are still 80% Hindu. And that's because we fought, kept on fighting, whether we win or lose. Rana Pratap lost, but he's a hero. Rani Jhansi lost, she's a heroine. In South India, it is Kattabomman. It is in Karnataka, it's Rani Chennamma. Subhash Chandra Bose, even today a hero. None of these people won, but they showed courage. Shivaji, of course, got victory. So he is especially a big hero. Vijayanagaram ruled for 300 years or 400 years in a larger territory than the Mughals. But in the history books, only one line. In the south, there was something called Vijayanagaram Empire. That's why I think Professor Vaidyanathan asked who is the successor of Hakka Bukka, and nobody could tell. Krishna Deva Raya, some people may say, but after Krishna Deva Raya, I can't say. So, we are not taught. But we know every Mughal. But from Akbar to Aurangzeb is only 150 years. This was 400 years. But our history is taught that way. So let us know our true history. And that history should give you pride and the attitude of defending a great tradition. Somebody said 5,000 years of our history. I was going after this, I was in court in Ramasetu. And I found that Ramasetu can be dated by, because there are a lot of corals, the carbon dating shows it is 10,000 years old. That means almost 8,000 BC. In fact, Ramayana was in 8,000 BC. Mahabharata war was in 3,000 BC. And our history is much longer than 5,000 years. 10,000 years at least. It's a long history. There were 46 civilizations in this world since world history began. 45 have disappeared. Only one remains, that is the Hindu civilization. So with this pride, we go ahead. Somebody said to me, will you build Ram temple? Ram Setu, there is no problem. I have already won the case, and now Nitin Gadkari and Narendra Modi both told me, Ram Setu will not be touched, and they gave an assurance to Parliament. So the matter is over. Now it is to build it as a national monument so they can walk on it, go to Sri Lanka and see where Sita was living, where Ravana's palace is there, where the Sanjeevani mountain was put down by Hanuman. All this you can see. Because now the Sri Lankans know that big tourist traffic is going to come, so they have already improved all these places, opened hotels and all, they are waiting for you. Ram Temple, yes, Babri Masjid was demolished by, not by the government, but by private mob. It was unauthorized. But can a masjid be demolished? Yes. Who says so? Saudi Arabia. Every day they are demolishing masjids there to build roads. Pakistan did it. Musharraf did. In one day he demolished 6 masjids. And in this particular case, there was a temple, it was demolished, and on it was built a masjid by Mir Baki and named it Babri. Why Babri? Not because of Babar. But why, I will not tell, because I am a little shy. I will not have another masjid by the name Babri. It's a disgrace to even Islam to name it Babri Masjid. Babri was actually a 7-year-old boy. Won't say more than that. Babar was very fond of him. Now, so it was named after that boy. And it was demolished at that time. The Supreme Court considered this matter. And the Supreme Court said to the government, Narasimha Rao government, tell us what's the solution. And the Solicitor General of India gave an affidavit, which is reported in the judgment. And he said, if it can be shown that there was an existing temple before, and that the Babri Masjid was built after it, then we will hand that property to the Hindus to do what they want to do. This is an affidavit. 2002, the Allahabad High Court set up a commissioner inquiry. And the commissioner inquiry found that there was a temple. They use all modern techniques like Earth imaging, satellite imaging techniques. Then they dug the place up and they found the ruins and they have displayed it in the Allahabad Museum. And the Allahabad High Court judgment has said in its judgment. Therefore, I say to you that I will tell the Muslims, we will build you another masjid across the river from Saryu Nadi, and you let us build our mandir. Why should they object? They are not objecting to that masjid being demolished in Makkah, where Muhammad read namaz. Some archaeologists opposed it. So the Saudi Arabian government said, those who oppose the demolition of this masjid because Muhammad read namaz there, they are guilty of idol worship and therefore breaking the Saudi Arabian law. We will prosecute them if they raise it again. The Saudi Arabian Prince Al Faisal came here. I knew him. He invited me for dinner. I asked him. He's the finance minister also. He said, of course we break masjids all the time. It's just a building. It's a facilitation center for reading namaz. And namaz can be read anywhere, even in your drawing room. So I said that if we do this in Ayodhya, will you support us? He said, yes, I will issue a fatwa for you if you like. But I don't want their fatwa. I want the Muslim community to say that as Iqbal said, Ram is Imam-e-Hind, you please agree to build a masjid somewhere else, which we will build for you. We will build in the Ram Janmabhoomi a temple, and I'm telling you, we will build it. The same thing is with Uniform Civil Code. My colleague Ishkaran Bhandari very beautifully explained it. But I'm not, this is not against Muslims. Karunanidhi has 2 wives. At one side he had 3. I think Ramvilas Paswan also has. I can't understand, if managing 1 wife is so difficult, how they manage 2 wives. So many Hindus have it also. It's wrong. We have 50% women, 50% men. It has to be 1 man to 1 woman, and that is the law that we shall implement. So somebody said it might hurt the sentiments of the Muslims. I said, why in Australia it doesn't hurt the sentiments? In Australia they have Uniform Civil Code. One Imam one day said that, we want Sharia, we don't want Uniform Civil Code. So the Australian Prime Minister said, if you want Sharia, go to another country. In Australia, you will not get it. So next day, all the Muslim organizations gave a statement that this mullah is a mad fellow. We are very happy with the Uniform Civil Code. Same thing in the United States. Even in India, we have Uniform Criminal Code. The IPC applies to Hindus and Muslims alike. A Hindu judge can convict a Muslim and send him to jail. They don't say their Sharia should apply. Maybe because they think then your hands will have to be cut and you'll have to be stoned. I don't know. But there's no demand for a separate criminal code. Muslims have accepted it. And I'm telling you, this Muslim population itself is in favor. Women are in favor. I'm fighting a case in Kerala where women have asked me, there are large numbers of women came in, gave me in writing, we want the succession rights to be the same as that for the Hindus. And I filed a case and I'll win it without difficulty. But women are getting now courage. Many of them say that we don't want this uncertainty of whether a man will marry another wife or take 3 other wives. We want the same freedom as the Hindu women have. That is what we have to encourage. And we cannot encourage by appeasing anybody. We take a strong stand. Article 370, Ishkaran only said it's temporary. But it's the only article which doesn't need a parliamentary vote. It can be removed just by the President issuing a notification. And how does the President issue notification? Cabinet passes a resolution and gives it to the President and he releases it. Article 370 can go tomorrow. And after this flood, everybody says, remove Article 370, let there be all us together. They've seen all these militants. In fact, the militants were begging the army to rescue them. I'm told that Gilani was rescued by our army. Then he later on said that was Pakistan army, not Indian army. So I am saying to you that all these things will be implemented because it is good for the uniting of India. We will do it. These are promises we have made. And I would like in India, Hindus and Muslims to be together as one family. And that can only be possible if both of us recognize that they came from the same place that we all have come. And on that basis, I want a new cadre which can argue to be developed. And therefore, my colleagues and I have decided that we will now set up a permanent organization for the social media foundation, and in every state we will open a branch, and later on, when the numbers really swell, we will have one of our conferences in Ramlila Maidan instead of in this room. I thank you all for coming. I never thought that you will come in such large numbers on your own, on your own strength. This is the way in which organizations develop. You are not brought here, but you came on your own. And we will continue this interaction in the future. Thank you very much.
Dhanyavad, Dr. Swamy, for your thought-provoking words of wisdom. डॉक्टर स्वामी ने हमें परिवर्तन दिया, एकता का संदेश दिया, राम सेतु दिया, 370 भी देंगे, क्योंकि विजन क्लियर है उनका। मंजिल उन्हीं को मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है। सिर्फ पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों से उड़ान होती है। तो वो हौसला जो डॉक्टर साहब के पास है, वो हौसला हमें लेना है। और आज मन में एक विचार आया, सुबह मैंने बताया था कि डॉक्टर साहब को मैं तो कहता हूं कि वो शेर हैं, तो यहाँ कई उपाधियां दी गई। कल डॉक्टर साहब का जन्मदिन भी है, 75वां जन्मदिन है। कहते हैं कि मन में कोई बात आए तो कह देनी चाहिए। अगर आप कहो तो कह दूं, सरदार पटेल को लौह पुरुष माना गया और लाला लाजपत राय को शेर पंजाब माना गया। मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि हिंदुस्तान में अगर कोई शेर है तो डॉक्टर सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी है। तो क्यों ना आज से उनके नाम से पहले हम शेर हिंद डॉक्टर सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी कहें। अगर आप सब इस बात का समर्थन करते हैं तो सब खड़े हो जाइए प्लीज। Thank you very much, and now I invite you for any questions if you have, and hand over for proceedings to Professor Arvind Chaturvedi.
A lot of people have a lot of questions, I know, and we have allotted 40 minutes, though we are running almost 40 minutes behind the schedule, but we will not deprive anyone who has question in mind to ask a question. Volunteers are requested to please circulate mics at the right places. Those who want to ask questions must ask for the mic. If it is not audible, you can write the question and send it to us. Please. Yeah, this lady here in third row. Yeah, ask.
I'm Jula Sharma from Assam, now living in Delhi. I have a question to you, sir. Do you have any plan or project to save Assam from Bangladeshi and to stop Assam to become an Islamic state?
Certainly, the Prime Minister in the election itself made a commitment. And I can't say that what that plan is, but there's a discussion, serious discussion on it. And as I told you, the unfairness of the infiltration is that we gave land for those people who didn't want to live in India in proportion to that population. And not only the Hindu population has declined there in Bangladesh from 32% to 7% now, but the 1/3 of Bangladesh population has come into India. So we have to find some radical solution. One way is to try and see if there is any way we can work this out with the Bangladesh government. I myself have received an invitation from the Hindu organizations in Bangladesh to come to Durga Puja in Dhaka. I'm not clear whether we are going or not. I will have to, tomorrow meeting Mr. V.K. Singh, our Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, to seek his opinion. But I will not be in a position here to disclose to you what that policy is, but there will be a policy. By the end of half the term of this government, you will find that Assam is being liberated from foreign infiltrators.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Prema Raghavan from Baroda. I have a small group called Swamy and Friends. All of us feel Swamy should head a department anti-corruption for two reasons. His time is spent effectively. He doesn't have to wait in the court. Then only acha din aayega.
Okay, I'll pass your suggestion on to Modi.
Sir,
Yeah, in Baroda, if he comes
Sir.
there for the campaign, you can.
Please pass on the mic there.
sir,
प्रणाम सर
सर।
सर मयंक सहारनपुर से सर मेरा प्रश्न है हाँ सर मेरा प्रश्न है आपने एक स्टेटमेंट किया था कि MMRCA डील को कैंसिल करना चाहिए उसमें आपने कुछ लिखा भी था सर
किसको कैंसिल
Can you
करना
repeat the
चाहिए?
question, please?
वो एयरक्राफ्ट वाली डील थी सर एयरक्राफ्ट वाली डील थी सर वो एयर डसॉल्ट रेल सर
एयर एशिया।
डसॉल्ट वाली सर जो फ्रांस
हाँ,
में था।
डसॉल्ट।
आपने स्टेटमेंट भी दिया कि सोनिया का
वो एक इतना महंगा है कि वो कंपनी को ही खरीदना सस्ता है, जो इतना एयर फ्यूल कंज्यूम करती है कि उसका चलाना मुश्किल हो जाएगा। और तीसरा कि दुनिया में किसी ने इस एयरक्राफ्ट को खरीदा नहीं, फ्रांस ने भी नहीं खरीदा, यद्यपि उसकी उत्पादन फ्रांस में हो रही है। स्विट्जरलैंड ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया फिर कैंसिल कर दिया, उन्होंने एक भी नहीं लिया। एक देश का नाम दीजिए जहां ये डसॉल्ट का जो नाम है उसका रफेल को खरीद रहे हैं। तो काय को हम खरीद रहे हैं? क्योंकि उस समय का राष्ट्रपति की बीवी इटालियन थी और यहाँ मनमोहन सिंह के मालिक वो भी इटालियन थी। इन दोनों के बीच में बातचीत हुई और डसॉल्ट ने कह दिया कि इस एयरक्राफ्ट को इंडिया नहीं खरीदेगा तो फिर हमें कंपनी को बंद करना पड़ेगा। तो इस हेतु से इन्होंने ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की, इनको कमीशन मिली। और मैं आपसे कहता हूँ कि विकल्प क्या है, गुलामी का विकल्प नहीं है तो फिर गुलाम बनने के लिए आप स्वीकार करोगे? विकल्प ढूंढना पड़ेगा। और वो उसमें वो एयरक्राफ्ट जिसको दूसरे देश भी खरीद कर अपने एयरफोर्स में रखा।
सर, my name is सर
सर विशाल जैन। सर ये जानना चाह रहा था कि जो रात दिन हम पाकिस्तानी चैनल नेशनल टीवी पर देख रहे हैं,
हाँ,
और जो देशद्रोही पत्रकार रोज रात को मतलब हमें हमारा मनोरंजन कर रहे हैं, क्या उनमें पत्रकार, इंटेलेक्चुअल्स, सोशल एक्टिविस्ट जो हर रात इकट्ठे जो इनकी चौकड़ी बैठती है, क्या इतने सैकड़ों पत्रकारों में से किसी एक पत्रकार की या किसी एक एंकर की अरेस्ट हम नियर फ्यूचर में एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं?
देशद्रोही पत्रकारों को अरेस्ट करना है?
सिर्फ एक, मतलब बहुतों को तो क्या करेंगे, सिर्फ एक को भी अरेस्ट करने की क्या हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं? और एक छोटा सा इसके साथ क्वेश्चन और है, वो ये कि पीपल इवन दैट वोंट गेट बी नोन टू एनीबॉडी।
तो सवाल
क्या हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं बीजेपी से? एक चैनल, पेट्रियोटिक चैनल, और एक अरेस्ट ऑफ एनी देशद्रोही
अच्छा, देखिए पेट्रियोटिक चैनल चलाने के लिए सब कहते हैं परंतु मदद नहीं करते। मैंने एक चैनल शुरू की थी जब सब ने, ख़ास तौर पर जो समृद्धशाली अप्रवासी भारतीय अमेरिका में हैं, उन्होंने कहा था कि आपको चैनल शुरू करना चाहिए जिसमें राष्ट्रवादी विचार होंगे। और मैंने कहा कि उसका 20 करोड़ रुपए तो पहले निकालना पड़ेगा और उसके बाद हर साल 5 साल के लिए तो घाटा में रहेगी, फिर उसके बाद ही प्रॉफिट आएगी, उसमें भी आपको मदद। हाँ, हम करेंगे। मैंने शुरू किया 3 महीने के बाद 1 पैसा नहीं आया तो मैंने बंद कर दिया। तो मैं कहता हूँ कि राष्ट्रवादी चैनल चलाना बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि हमारे लोग कहते हैं, परंतु जब मदद करने की बात आती है कोई आगे नहीं आता है। अब सुदर्शन टीवी है, ये राष्ट्रवादी विचारों का प्रसारण करती है, लेकिन मैं तो समझता हूँ कि हर प्रांतों में एक एक होना चाहिए, हर भाषा में, स्थानीय भाषा में। और अब नई सरकार बन गई है तो मैं पता करता हूँ कि दोबारा उस प्रोजेक्ट जिसको मैंने बंद किया उसको शुरू कर सकते हैं कि नहीं।
Sir, my name is Yogesh Kumar Singh. I am from Lucknow and working in Delhi. Just I want to ask a question. That what do you think that if we don't get Hindu consolidated, is it possible to get it Darul Islam in India? First question. The second question is that how to consolidate that those left extremist pseudo secular Hindus and 20% those minorities who don't consider our national heroes as their heroes.
No, first of all, don't lump all 20% minorities in one. There are also Muslims like Shias, Ahmadiyas, Sufis, Bohras, Khojas, and even amongst Sunnis, the Barelvi Sunnis, they are amenable to the idea of identifying themselves with India. We have to win them over because they are threatened by their mullahs and extremist elements. In fact, the extremist elements will always kill.
It was.
नहीं, हम मरेंगे तो कभी नहीं.
नहीं, it was in.
800 साल में नहीं मरे, कहाँ आप मरने?
नहीं, it was in one of your Facebook posts. So just I want.
नहीं, Facebook देखो, Facebook मैं आपको स्पष्ट कर देता हूँ, उसमें लिखा भी है, उसमें कोई शंकरनाथ टीम है, वो हाँ वो अच्छे लोग हैं, उनका हम जानते हैं, बड़े उसमें जोश है, तो अच्छा यहाँ है, ओके, तो वो करते हैं और मैं उनका भाषा मेरा भाषा होना चाहिए आवश्यक नहीं है। कभी कभी कुछ ऐसी बात आ जाती है तो हम उनको बता देते हैं बस, लेकिन उन्होंने जो मेहनत की है और अब पता नहीं 8 लाख के आसपास फेसबुक में लाइक्स हो गई है, तो मैं तो ये मेरा जैसे मैं ट्विटर में खुद जवाब देता हूँ वैसे ये फेसबुक नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें समय बहुत लगता है फेसबुक मेंटेन करने के लिए इंडिविजुअली, पर ये कर रहे हैं, इसको मैं इन लोगों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
सर
मेरा एक प्रश्न है
सर, दिस क्वेश्चन
सर मेरा
सर
can
Chari, the Sri Lankan government had offered 5 power projects to India, but UPA government had accepted 2, and they say give the rest 3 projects to China. The question is, should the UPA traitors not be booked for treason?
Well, I think first of all, Sonia Gandhi should be booked for writing to the president that the killers of Rajiv Gandhi should not be given capital punishment. After the Supreme Court had said that these 4 people, that Nalini and 3 others, they should be given capital punishment because in the rarest of rare cases, they took pleasure in killing Rajiv Gandhi and they were proud of it even in court. So even for that, Sonia Gandhi wrote to the president that they should not be given capital punishment. For that we have to do. Let me finish with National Herald first and get her in TR jail. After that, we will think of more cases.
स्वामी जी, मैं यहाँ पे एक प्रश्न करता हूँ। आप मतलब सुबह भी आपने बताया था कि इतिहास के बारे में, इतिहास हिस्टोरी के बारे में, इंडिया की हिस्ट्री के बारे में कि ब्रिटिश ने यहाँ पे आके जो इतिहास जो अपने हिसाब से बना के लिखा है अपने मतलब सुविधा के लिए, इतिहास जो पढ़ रहे हैं,
माइक थोड़ा मुंह से दूर रख के बोलिए तो आवाज।
हाँ, जो इतिहास जो पढ़ रहे हैं हम, तो ठीक ठाक नहीं है, तो इतिहास को मतलब मतलब रीराइट करना पड़ेगा, रीडिस्कवर करना पड़ेगा इंडिया।
रीराइट हो रही है।
हाँ, तो ये बहुत बड़ी एक मतलब चैलेंज
शुरू हो गई।
अच्छा सर, मुझे ये बताइए
अगला
मेरा कि ये पूरी तरह से के लिए
लेवल पे है, हर एकेडमिक लेवल पे इसको पूरी तरह करने के लिए कितना?
नहीं, मैं तो कहता हूँ कि अभी पहले स्कूल के लिए जो कंपलसरी प्रिस्क्राइब होते हैं उसमें अगला जुलाई तक नई पुस्तक आ जाएंगे और उसकी काम चल रही है।
सर क्योंकि मैं
सर गुड इवनिंग सर।
आरक्षण के बारे में, रिजर्वेशन के बारे में आपके क्या विचार हैं? यंग बच्चे ने पूछा है रिजर्वेशन के।
हाँ ठीक है, जहाँ तक आरक्षण है, मेरी राय है कि समाज के उस वर्ग जिसको जबरदस्ती पीछा किया गया, इसको अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं इम्पोज्ड डिसेबिलिटीज, उनको निश्चित तौर पर रिजर्वेशंस होनी चाहिए और उसमें हमें ये ख्याल करना चाहिए कि एक बार एक परिवार को मिल जाएगी तो फिर आगे उनको नहीं मिलना चाहिए। अब कौन है ऐसे जिनके ऊपर जबरदस्ती से उनको उनमें पिछड़ापन उत्पन्न किया गया या उनको पीछा रखा गया? शेड्यूल कास्ट तो साफ है, शेड्यूल ट्राइब भी कह सकते हैं, लेकिन यादवों का काम नहीं कह सकते हैं क्योंकि उन्होंने राज किया और मुसलमान और क्रिश्चियन को तो सवाल ही नहीं है। एक ने 800 साल राज किया, दूसरे ने 200 साल राज किया। तो शेड्यूल कास्ट और शेड्यूल ट्राइब को छोड़कर इस देश में किसी को आरक्षण नहीं मिलनी चाहिए, ये मेरी निजी राय है, मैं आपको बतानी चाहता हूँ।
सर गुड इवनिंग सर, आई एम शशांक फ्रॉम देहरादून। क्योंकि मैं लॉ स्टूडेंट हूँ तो इसलिए लीगल क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा आपसे। आप आर्टिकल 370 की बात किए, पर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के हिसाब से सर आर्टिकल क्लॉज 3 बोलता है कि प्रेसिडेंट नोटिफिकेशन से हटा सकता है आर्टिकल 370, लेकिन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली की सहमति चाहिए, स्टेट कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली। तो उसके बारे में आपने नहीं बताया। पहला सवाल है ये मेरा, उसको थोड़ा सा क्लियर कर दीजिए। और दूसरा सवाल है कि पीएन ओक एक बहुत बड़े हिस्टोरियन थे इंडिया के, उन्होंने कहा था कि ताजमहल एक हिंदू टेम्पल था और आपने शायद किसी ट्विटर में जवाब दिया था किसी को कि आप केस करेंगे, तो उस बारे में क्या कहेंगे?
ठीक है, जहाँ तक कंसल्ट करने की बात है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली तो है ही नहीं। 1954 में उसको वाइंड अप कर दिया था और वाइंड अप करते समय प्रस्ताव पास किया गया कि कश्मीर हिंदुस्तान का अटूट इतिहास है और संपूर्ण रूप से भारत देश का इतिहास अंग है। अब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में तो लिखा गया है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली को, जम्मू कश्मीर की बनाई हुई कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली को कंसल्ट करना चाहिए। अब कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली नहीं है तो किसको कंसल्ट करोगे? तो लॉ में एक डॉक्ट्रिन है, एक सिद्धांत है जिसको कहते हैं डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ नेसेसिटी। एक चीज को जिस प्रकार से लिखी हुई है करना है वो कर नहीं सकते, तो फिर जितना अधूरा है उसी को करना है। जैसे आज लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन पार्लियामेंट का नहीं है, लोकसभा का, लेकिन जो अपॉइंटमेंट्स कमेटी है जिसमें नियुक्त होती है उसमें लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन का नाम है, माने पद का नाम है कि लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन, होम मिनिस्टर, प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड कंसर्न्ड मिनिस्टर, ये कमेटी अपॉइंटमेंट्स कमेटी है। अब लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन नहीं है तो फिर क्या होगा? तो वही डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ नेसेसिटी के अनुसार नहीं है तो उसके बिना होगा। तो इसी प्रकार से इसमें भी ये है। यदि आपको बहुत चिंता है तो हम गवर्नर से अनुमति ले लेंगे और कर देंगे।
गुड इवनिंग सर, दिस इज अनूप चक्रवर्ती।
सर
गुड इवनिंग सर।
दूसरा क्या था?
सर दिस इज रिगार्डिंग द,
तुम्हें ताजमहल के लिए बहुत जल्दी है, राम मंदिर से भी जल्दी है, तो मुझे 24 घंटा ही है भाई, मैं कहाँ कितना करूँगा, थोड़ा समय दो, उसके बाद मैं तो करने वाला हूँ बट अभी नहीं।
गुड इवनिंग सर, दिस इज अनूप चक्रवर्ती। So my request to you is that you have written a letter to Mr. Narendra Modi regarding the pink revolution.
Yes.
So please remind him about the ABCD of the scams he told us in that D is Damat Ghotala, which I think everyone has forgotten, because in Rajasthan we have BJP government from long, and we are not hearing anything in the media like what they are doing. And my second request to you will be that the investigation done by IAS officer Mr. Ashok Khemka, it was overruled by the new IAS person who came at his place, and then that the new officer was granted a ARP ticket. So of course it shows how so-called.
I understood.
Yeah.
You have
So
good
these two
suggestions.
things-
I will
yeah.
carry it out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, this is regarding the PTs. Sir, you have promised that you will start a courses kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sir, we are awaiting for that, and please announce.
So let me first form this organization, and then the students will have to be selected state-wise, and then we'll all meet at one place. Certainly, that project is on, but how to do it is the question. Otherwise, everybody will apply, and I won't know who to take, who not to take. If the capacity is only for 60 students and 600 apply, then I'll have to choose. So I'm going to create this organization, and this organization at the state level will recommend the names, and then I will do the course. Okay?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. This is Lavesh Singla, investment banker based out of Delhi. If you permit, I have two questions. First one is that it was obviously observed that supporters of Congress have an allegiance towards a clan rather than having allegiance towards a nation. Now it's our government in the center. If we see that some of our right-wingers friends, we try to do an unbiased audit of government policies and actions. If there is a differential voice, it is usually shouted out by our own right-winger friends saying that it's blasphemous to criticize our own government. So our allegiance is not towards...
Why is it blasphemous to criticize the old
That's
government?
what I'm saying. It's being shouted out as if it's blasphemous to criticize your own government. But our allegiance is towards the nation, not a leader or not a party. So what would you advise all the right-wingers that we should actually have an unbiased audit?
Who shouts it out?
Sir, in Twitter I'm saying that...
Oh, Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter, take it in your stride, because there are a lot of supporters also. I get also lots of crazy Twitter tweets, you see, but I don't reply to them. You reply only to other patriotic Twitters. The others who reply, don't bother them.
And
most of them have been paid to irritate you.
And my second question is, sir, that before the elections, there was a lot of attention on Mr. Robert Vadra. We were all hammer and tongs on him.
Yeah.
So is showering some love and attention on Robert Vadra part of your bucket list?
You are more interested in sending Robert Vadra to jail than Sonia Gandhi?
No, in priority order, sir, for Sonia Gandhi.
Yeah, so who should go first?
Obviously, it's Sonia Gandhi.
All right, so after Sonia Gandhi goes, you ask me about Robert Vadra.
Right, thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Vishnu here from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
I have been working here in Delhi. So my question is, why are we limiting ourselves up to Ram Mandir? Why not Kasi? Why not Mathura? Why not Vrindavan?
Why are you not looking at it?
Sorry?
Because all three.
Yes, sir.
Ram Mandir is an example that a masjid can be demolished. So there are 30,000 mandirs were destroyed. We are not going to ask all of them. But these three, Mathura, Ayodhya, Kashi, these three we will restore. That I can tell you 100% guarantee.
Thank you, sir. The humiliation is more among them. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think our...
Hello.
Yes, sir. I must tell you that we are running out of time for which this hall has been taken. Yes, participate, I've got a question. There's a question about what is about participate, he knows how to counter it. Well, there's only one to counter it, abolish it. Abolish it. Our government is, Mr. Jaitley is not agreeing with me. But I will slowly make him agree.
सर एक छोटी सी इंसिडेंस आपसे शेयर कर दी है क्योंकि मेरे पास एक हिंदू जेंटलमैन बैठा था तो ही वाज जस्ट आस्किंग मी कि जब हम हिंदू बात कर रहे हैं, हिंदू सिस्टम की बात कर रहे हैं, तो हाउ यू रिएक्ट? तो आपने तो काफ़ी क्लियर कर दिया। एक और बात जो रह गई है, जो शायद आपसे मैं डिमांड भी करूंगा, एक छोटी सी स्टोरी है। जब गुरु तेग बहादुर जी को पंडित कृपाराम दत्त जी ने रिक्वेस्ट की आके, पंडित कृपाराम दत्त जी अमरनाथ गुफा के चीफ थे, तो मुगलों का एक ही तरीका था कि जितने भी पंडित दिखाई देते थे उनका मर्डर करके जिन्हें वो उतार देते थे। तो ये 11 फैमिली रह गई थी वहाँ अमरनाथ गुफा में, ये स्टोरी है। तो देन ही केम अलॉन्ग विद ऑल दैट, तो अनंतपुर साहब गुरु साहब के पास आ गए और देन दे डिस्कस्ड लॉन्ग वे के क्या किया जाए, ये वाला सारा टेरर कैसे बियर करें। तो प्रोग्राम तो यही बना कि आप यू गो टू दी मुगल, तो आप वहाँ डिस्कस करो कि ये छोड़ दें या न करें, पर वो उल्टा हुआ, शहीद हो गए गुरु साहब। देन व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन सिख हिस्ट्री, पंडित कृपाराम दत्त बिकेम।
नहीं, आप बैकग्राउंड बता रहे हैं ना?
नहीं, मैं आप ये बता,
सवाल नहीं है,
ये बैकग्राउंड भी है, एक क्वेश्चन भी है आपके पास।
वो क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए।
वो ये है कि वो ये पहले कथा होगी फिर उसके बाद होगा।
सरदारों के बारे आपसे
नहीं, उसका पंडित कृपाराम दत्त जी ने क्या
किया?
तो
अकाल तख्त में रहकर आए।
देन ही बिकेम द फर्स्ट सिख ऑफ गुरु गोबिंद सिंह। ठीक है, उनको कल्टीवेट किया। बहुत लोग नहीं जानते, हम सिख भी नहीं जानते कि हमने ये गात्रा क्यों पहनना है। हो सकता है ये कि ये लड़ाई तो जनेऊ की थी, वो इनसाइड था। आफ्टर दैट शायद पंडित कृपाराम दत्त जी ने ही कहा होगा कि इट शुड बी आउटसाइड एंड यू आर टू डिक्लेयर गुरु जी, दिस इज वन थिंग। एंड बस
क्वेश्चन देखिए,
नहीं, एक जो आखिरी जो मैं दो तीन सेंटेंस और बोलूंगा। पंडित कृपाराम जी फिर जब मुगलों के साथ लड़ाई हुई तो वो सबसे पहले वो शहीद वहाँ। तो मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि पंडित जी जो अमरनाथ गुफा के चीफ थे, वो जहाँ शहीद हुए हैं, अनंतपुर के साथ एक छोटा सा गांव है वहाँ, तो वहाँ से वो जो यात्रा चलती है, तो ये वाली यात्रा यहाँ से भी चलनी चाहिए गुफा के लिए भी। ये
ओके,
ताकि ये
आप ईमेल भेज दीजिए मुझे।
हाँ जी, ईमेल
भेज दीजिए सुझाव का।
ओके ओके सर, ठीक।
अच्छा, एक और क्वेश्चन है मयंक। You have given assurance that you will take up the issue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose files declassified. मैंने तो दिया है और मैं छोड़ने वाला नहीं हूँ। अब मेरे लिए प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मैं समय का कैसा वितरण करूँ, क्योंकि ये जो नेशनल हेराल्ड केस है, ये एकमात्र केस है जहाँ सोनिया गांधी का दस्तखत है, तो इसमें ही उसको अंदर भेज सकता हूँ। अब उसके बाद जो बाकी टाइम है उसमें हम राजनीतिक दौरा करते हैं, ट्विटर में सुबह 1 घंटा बैठते हैं, हाँ, और ऐसे कॉन्फ्रेंसेस करते हैं। तो सुभाष बोस के लिए मैं करूँगा, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। और मैंने पहले भी जो जेवर चोरी की सुभाष बोस की, मैंने ही खुलासा किया था। ये कब? 1978 में। तो इसीलिए उसको छोड़ूंगा नहीं, बट कब होगा ये अभी मैं इसका जवाब नहीं दे सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे बहुत धक्का देना होगा। लोग इन्हीं हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने हेंडरसन ब्रुक्स रिपोर्ट ऑफ 1962 को डिक्लासिफाई करने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे। तो इसीलिए ब्यूरोक्रेसी में बड़ी ज़बरदस्त लड़ाई होगी। नेहरू परिवार के लोग अनेक जगहों में बैठे हैं जिनकी बदनामी हो जाएगी, परंतु इतना तो मैं जानता हूँ कि उसके रिकॉर्ड्स में ये निश्चित तौर पर साफ आएगी कि सुभाष चंद्र बोस उस एयर क्रैश में नहीं मरे और उनको गला घोटा गया था जोसेफ स्टालिन के आदेश पर 1954 में। ठीक है, तो वो सिद्ध हो जाएगी। उसके बाद पता नहीं कोई नेहरू परिवार का कोई यहाँ इस देश में रह सकता है कि नहीं। क्या कॉल इट ऑफ नो? हाँ,
हेलो हेलो,
all those questions which we have received
बाद में
are not answered today by Dr. Swamy will be answered in
only last
by
question.
mail. So please, we are already stressed for the time. We are already short of the time. Now please don't insist on any more questions. I request all of you to please give the questions in writing. I'll take them up and then pass it on to Dr. Swamy at a convenient time, either through the Twitter or through the mail. He'll answer your questions. Some questions have common, some question slips are common. They have common questions. We'll do the sorting, and after the sorting, it will be given to Dr. Swamy. I'm sure he will answer all the questions which are there. We are already getting late.
If there's one question that should be ended, is this lady has been asking from beginning. You want to ask a question? Sir, you want the mic? Sir, you say I can hear you. I'll repeat it.
We are short of time. What do you?
Yeah. Okay. When will 498 section A on harassment to the daughter-in-law, right? So anyway, that harassment matter be made bailable. I think I will find out because I have not paid attention to it. I paid attention to juvenile matter, got it done. But now I will talk to our people and find out about it. All that I agree. I've seen also
Please
that.
Please do not leave the hall without Vande Mataram. We'll have Vande Mataram. Just before the Vande Mataram, let me tell you the donation box is kept at the rear end of the hall. Those who want to donate for the Patriotic Social Media Foundation can do so as they go. And I just want to thank the participants, the speakers, the volunteers, the Constitution Club organizers, and those who have helped in this program. I cannot individually thank each one of them because the time is short, and therefore I am taking the liberty to thank them all en masse. सभी उन लोगों को जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम के पूर्ण होने में सहयोग प्रदान किया है, हम उन सभी के तहे दिल से आभारी हैं और उनका शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं कि उन्होंने समय निकाला और इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाने में हमें सहयोग दिया। मैं आपकी सूचना के लिए बता दूं कि पीटी दिल्ली 2014 अभी भी ट्विटर पर ट्रेंड कर रहा है, सवेरे से लगातार ट्विटर पर ट्रेंड कर रहा है। ये आप लोगों की सफलता का द्योतक है, ये आपकी सफलता का इंडेक्स है, ये आपकी सफलता का सूचक है। मैं अनुरोध करूंगा पिंकी से जो हरियाणा से आई हैं, वंदे मातरम आप सभी लोग वंदे मातरम में साथ में गाएंगे और वंदे मातरम के बाद सभा विसर्जित हो जाएगी।
वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मात सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शीतलाम शस्य श्यामलाम मातरम वंदे सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शीतलाम शस्य श्यामलाम मातरम वंदे वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मात शुभ्र ज्योत्सनां पुलकिते अमनिं पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदल शोभिनी सुभाषिणीं सुमधुर भाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरम वंदे 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 मातरम। जय हिंद।
जय